Last February, Claude Big Stone Sinclair was on our stage in support of Junior Baez, a great reggae artist who needed help. And that help was coming through the Bounty Killer Foundation. As you know, Bounty has been going around helping people from all walks of life through his foundation. Today, Mr. Sinclair is back on our stage with Bounty Killer, but he's actually the one in need of support on this visit. Right now, right here on our stage, sadly, Big Stone Sinclair in need of help that he's about to get, I suspect, from Bounty Killer. Right here on our stage. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Salute.
Killer,
Boom.
Before we even jump into it, sir, may I have to tell you, sir, the work you're doing is absolutely, and anybody who did doubt it.
Yeah.
And what it serves and how it is really is of critical importance to so many out there, and the lives you have changed and so on. Yeah. Anyone who were doubtful about it, now this is a great example of what it means to give, because you helped, you brought people to Killer, right, for help. And you always come, you were here on our stage helping with Junior's situation. And now you yourself, you're in desperate need of help. You know what I mean? And it's amazing how these things, what goes around comes around. And now you are getting support from the same foundation, my brethren. I am so moved by it. I'm just learning all of that as we sit here. I didn't even know the extent. I didn't even remember that you were here last year giving out support to Junior Baez. Bounty Killer, take it away and tell us your perspective on all.
Oh, well, firstly, I became aware of Big Stone on YouTube. Yeah. He had a channel where he speaks of positiveness and upliftment and encouragement for the younger folks and the older folks, and I know of Big Stone. Then came the Junior Baez situation.
Yes.
That's how we came in physical contact. But I always saw Big Stone as a good philanthropist and a edifying man who always positive. Never know much of him, but the fact that he brought the Junior Baez situation to our awareness, and then he was so involved, and we realized this man have a good heart. This is one of us. He's another philanthropist, another humanitarian as me. So after that happened now, we never had much contact after. Then recently, my manager, Banky, informed me that Big Stone had a condition and he needs some assistance. And then now, it was a no-brainer for me. A person like this is a very good person, so I had to just do as I can. So I decided to give him some monetary assistance. So we are handing over a check of 300,000 Jamaican dollars to put to his medical bill today.
Okay. So, Stone, take it away and pick up right there for us. What can you tell us about what's going on with you?
My condition started June 26. There was a little girl by the name of Tracy Ann Ricketts who had osteosarcoma. And we pleaded with the government to send her overseas so she could get the necessary help that she could get. I did it along with King Yellowman. We did a lot of protests.
We saw that online.
TVJ, we begged, we garnished funding and so on. The money didn't come. Anyway, we finally got her overseas. And then she died. She died. So I got the news, and then 3 days later, it really hits me that this little girl, this promising little girl, is no longer with us. So the night of the 26th, I wasn't feeling sick or anything. So I went home and I got up about 1 o'clock in the morning and my chest started to get tight. I started to feel tightening in my chest. So I said, you know, maybe it will go away. I'm getting old. I'm 64 years old now. You know, July 3rd was my birthday. 3 o'clock in the morning, my chest started to get tighter and tighter. So I said, this looks serious. So I asked a neighbor to rush me to the University of the West Indies. When I got to the university, I couldn't get out of the car. They had to send for a wheelchair to wheelchair me out of the car. When they did my blood pressure was 225 over 167. The doctor looked at me and said, Mr. Sinclair, you're a dead man standing. People with a blood pressure count like yours either get a stroke or a massive heart attack. Anyway, they had me in there for the entire day, all different type of stuff hooked up to my body, and they stabilized my blood pressure. They came over to me about 1 o'clock and said, Mr. Sinclair, there's a swelling in your heart. But because of the backlog at the University of the West Indies, the waiting list is like 6 months. So it's best for you to discharge you and you seek help from the outside. At least you'll be looked after faster. Anyway, they discharged me about 5 o'clock. As soon as I got out, I called the Art Institute. They didn't have a date until the following Tuesday. When I got there, they did an echocardiogram. Then they went further and did an electrocardiogram. Then they went further and ordered me immediately to see a cardiologist. The cardiologist sat me down and he said, Mr. Sinclair, I'm telling you this, you can't leave here. We have to do a angiogram because the arteries in your lower left ventricle are narrowed. The blood is not flowing as freely as it ought to flow. And you have to do this. So I said, okay, no problem. I started to call my wife, my family, tell them that, I'm gonna be in the hospital for a while. Then I asked, I said, how much is this gonna cost? Well, he said, Mr. Sinclair, this is gonna cost you close to $700,000. 700,000, where am I gonna get that kind of money from? I don't have 700,000. I know my family have great support and so on, but they can't get 700,000 just like that. So I discharged myself from the hospital and I called out to a lot of friends, Sean Prendergast, I called out to Empress Shaz and Janet Lumley, and they started a little virtual concert for me with the likes of Julian Marley and Nature Ellis and Nesbeth and Incline and quite a few other artists, but the funding didn't come in the way it ought to. So my friend Bankilos, Paul Bankilos Giscombe, is a very, very good friend of mine, and he knows of the humanitarian work that I've done. And he said, Big Stone, I'm gonna help you, man. You have helped so many people. Now is your time to get help. I'm gonna reach out to the Bounty Killer Foundation. And when he told me that, it brought tears to my eyes because Bounty is somebody I looked up to. He has worked so hard over the years in helping people. We helped Junior Biles together. And here I am now, being on the receiving end.
No, but Big Stone is one of that person, as this article says now, Winford. This is the
Observer.
This is the man that been incarcerated for 50 years without trial.
George Williams.
And this is recently in Big Stone's condition. He went and raised $50,000 on the behalf of this man.
Give it to him.
Yes.
So he's in a situation.
While he was seeking money for himself. While he was trying to get funding for yourself, right?
Yeah.
The Honorable Marcus Garvey teach me that we should live for the sake of others. And when Bounty Killer reached out to say that he was going to do something for me, I said to myself, roses are given to people most of the time, Winfred, when they're dead. And gone, you hear all these hula baloo, and he was a great man. So to actually witness in my lifetime, actually sitting beside an icon, a legend, and to be getting roses while I'm alive is not something that I ever dreamed would ever happen to me.
Man. You deserve the good.
I'm so honored. I'm so honored, Bounty. I'm so honored.
This is just a little piece of the good that you do.
Thank you so much, man.
It's following, in your footsteps.
Thank you so much.
Because I didn't even know that he was so involved. He just told me that Nesbeth won his talent concert 1998.
Yes.
And Nesbeth is one of my little culture warrior, my artist from a long time. And he gave Turbulence the mic first time.
I was the first person who gave Turbulence Sheldon
all these good things
in Hungry Town.
I just know 1995. A good soul. That's grand, man.
I enjoy when I see the look on Bounty Killer's face when he helps somebody. Yes. I see the look on your face when you interviewed Yvonne Sterling. She brought you to tears. She was sitting right here and you were sitting right over there. And And I helped with the Avon Sterling story. I was the one who drove Little Lenny all the way to New Haven.
Yeah.
And make sure we handed over the check. The Rudolph Prendergast Foundation gave $20,000 and Little Lenny gave her $55,000. So we gave her $75,000. And the rest is history, you know. Then she died 2 months later.
Yes.
So on this very stage, I have to applaud you for even thinking of having me, because I never know that I would be sitting across from you.
We couldn't resist.
So
Yeah, man, Big Stone is deeply involved in the
It's a
humanitarian
no-brainer
work.
for us.
Thank you so much.
It's the least we can do, man.
On the behalf of the Bounty Foundation and Bankilos, my manager, this is a check for 300,000 Jamaican dollar, my brother.
Wow.
Put towards your medical bill.
Nice.
Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome,
Thank you,
Big
Bounty.
Stone. Your art
Paul
is bigger than the
Bankilos, I want to
stone.
thank you so much, man, for reaching out. Thank you so much for looking out for me, man. I never expected this, because when you do something for someone, you never generally look for anything in return.
True.
You do it with a kind heart. So, Bounty, I just want to share this with you, man. The Honorable Marcus Garvey teach me well, man. And I want to place this from my wounded heart to yours, because he lives for the sake of others.
Such is right.
So I want to give that to you, man. My Jegna Eru Aisha Musa Menelik gave it to me. You're a Garvey Ice, man, a man who stand up for the struggle of our people.
Exactly.
Likewise yourself, Winford.
Sure.
I wanna thank my family too, my wife Claude Sinclair, my daughter Claudia, my twin boys Sean and Shane, and all my children, and every single person who have given to me. Give me my roses when I'm alive. It is a beautiful experience, and I implore all of Jamaica in this COVID time to share and to care, because when you do that, he comes back like karma. And I never know that I'll be sitting across from the great bounty killer to receive a check for 300,000. I already made 300 already.
Congrats.
So now this will take me straight to the surgery of the Art Institute.
Yes.
This will go directly to the Art Institute. I can have my angiogram. Thank you again, Bounty Killer and Paul Bankilos.
You're welcome.
I am so elated.
I'm
Thank you
elated
so much
too.
from my heart. Thank you for having me on this show. Thank you so much.
My pleasure,
Kaboom.
sir. All the very best. We're
Thank
praying
you.
for you.
Thank you.
We have you in our thoughts.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm sure people all over the world right now are feeling the same
Thank you.
for you, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you will survive. You'll be better soon.
Bounty Killer have a song say, born as a sufferer. I was born as a sufferer, but I'm going to survive.
We have to survive.
You will
so
survive.
much.
my friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful. Paul Bankilos and my family and everyone out there look out for Big Stone.
Blessed love.
This one is for me to live a little bit longer so I can help some more people.
Exactly.
Because the work has not yet been finished.
Work has
we have
continued.
more work to be done. And I'm so grateful from the depths of my wounded heart. Thank you.
Carry on the work, brother.
Carry on, boss.
Love.
All right, so that's it.
Salute.
That's the segment right there. And that's our show for this week. Do join us again next week for more.